Okay. Alright, so first and foremost, once they call on Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Wahakadash Waka, Wabarakatam, double honors to GMS, Shalom to the whole elect, little brother Shema Shawan here. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give a special thank you to Akab Mayam, Arab Mayam, for the scriptures that we use for this lesson, as well as for the lesson itself, the idea for it. Alright, so without further ado, of course, Adawan Ratazah. This video will be, very edifying video, quick, edifying, to the point. Alright, so today's lesson is going to be on seminaries. Alright, seminary is a college that prepares students to be priests, ministers, or rabbis. Okay, you see a similar theological college, rabbinical college, Talmudical college, academy, training institute. The way you think of your modern college, they actually came from these seminaries. The original colleges, modern colleges, as we think of it. All right, of course, we're gonna keep reading, but they came up in the time in the Renaissance. All right, and they were just these big colleges made to teach the Bible, all right, to teach plantation Christianity, to teach the virgin birth, all that bullshit. All right, the Edomites are priests. The Edomites are the priests of the Most High, okay, that they're the saints, okay, repainting the saints over, right, saying that Yahweh Shai was an Edomite, okay, just absolute nonsense, okay. So we're going to look at the etymology, seminary, mid-15th century, what did I say, the Renaissance, plot where plants are raised from seeds, from Latin seminarium, plant nursery, seed plot, figuratively, breeding ground, from seminarius, of seed, from semen, like a seminate. Genitive seminis, seed, root se, to sow, meaning school for training priests, first recorded 1580s, commonly used for any school, especially for academies for young ladies, from 1580s to 1930s. Exactly. I believe they still have those institutions out today. All girls schools. All right, that's just, you can almost imagine in your mind what the hell's going on down there. All right, girl on girl action. Okay, and that shit's common. All right, what do you think we got that whole I don't want to say the name, but les movement came out of, okay, out of these institutions, okay. And Esau started that shit. That's completely wicked and against the scriptures. All right, women are supposed to learn from their husbands. All right, women are supposed to stay at home. All right, Titus chapter 2. All right, so this is crime and Titus. I'm not going to really go into it to be too long, but pretty much it's an order by the Catholic Church that orders secrecy when they're accused of sexual crimes. All right. So I was going to pull this up. This is just, numbers, but most of the seminaries in the United States are Catholic. So we already know what's going on down there. I just looked it up. Seminary, the other word. And you can see what's going on in here. A lot of young women are sent to these seminaries to study. All right, and they're getting torn to pieces down up in there, man. All right, you got a bunch of grown men. And they may think, because he has a nice, calm voice, he's still a man, all right, and you're still a girl. So what you think he gonna try to do to you if you alone with him, But we're gonna get some scriptures. We're gonna get some scripts. So this is all right, 1 Corinthians. We're gonna go chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Verse 18, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seems to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. All right, and I brought that out with that book, The Symposium of Plato. And in a lot of those seminary schools, they teach that history. All right, you probably spend an entire day going on Greek philosophy and the Greek philosophical movement. Okay, absolute BS, absolute waste of time. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12, as I said, dear beloved, there's no end to all the books, all right? And these seminary schools, that's all they go into. Books, all right? Absolute nonsense, but they barely go into the scriptures. All right? I could bet that they barely go into the scriptures, and when they do, they're probably going into it wrong, all right? Teaching the virgin birth, man. I mean, that's just I mean, do I even have to break that one down? Matthew chapter 1. I mean, how are you going to be the offspring of someone and not have sex? All right, Joseph and Mary had sex. Okay, this is Acts chapter 4, verse 13. Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, they perceived that they were unlearned, ignorant men. They marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushai. Okay, exactly, because Yahushai was very wise. All right, because he had the Rakah Kadash in him. Yeah, he had spiritual power. That's how he was able to heal people. Okay, so exactly, and you see the same thing today. It's like I was kind of gathering my thoughts, but when you kind of get into this thing, family, they'll kind of figure out that you're kind of different. You're kind of changing. They'll say like, "Wow, you're really brilliant." No, 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 no. I'm not brilliant because I learned from somebody else. Okay, I learned from somebody else, and it's really, you know, the Kadash Rakah or the Rakah Kadash. Okay, Rakah meaning spirit, Kadash meaning holy. All right, that comes down to us and allow us to go into these breakdowns, allow us to be able to hear and understand these words, to be able to break down the scriptures. It's not us, okay? We're not special. We didn't go to some theologian school, okay? This is John chapter 7, verse 15. All right, and the Jews marveled, saying, how knows this man's letters? How knows this man letters, having never learned? So really what they're trying to say is, how is this man so intelligent, having never trained? All right, because he wasn't speaking out of no fleshly, carnal knowledge, okay? He wasn't learning math and all this nonsense, okay? Maybe basic math, right? Because he had to count, right? But he wasn't going into plate tectonics or experimental physics, experimental or thermodynamic chemistry, nonsense like that. All right, that stuff is pointless, okay? But still, you know how many leaders and rulers and rich men probably heard him, learned men probably heard him, and even they're marveling at him, okay? Because we have true knowledge, all right? The ability to break down prophecy, the ability to tell you what's going to happen in a couple of years, that's true knowledge, all right? Knowledge of the Heavenly Father is true knowledge, all right? This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Exactly. And I need to, do I even need to go into, we're not studying to show ourselves approved into these losers, man. All right, because these guys are just, these guys are like a little blip in the big scheme of things, and they're only alive now, okay? In a couple years, well, I'm not gonna say a couple years, I'm gonna say possibly by this time next year, these guys are gonna be missile food, man. These guys are gonna be, if when you see Hiroshima, the blast was so hot it left niggas just like just black marks on the ground, That's how these guys are gonna look. They're gonna turn into skid marks, okay? So we don't study ourselves to be approved of men. We study ourselves to be approved of Yahweh, by reading these scriptures, by getting into this book. All right. So we're gonna get the book of Sirach, chapter 38. All right, verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise. Exactly. That means the wisdom. All right, the wisdom of a learned man is gonna come by someone who really don't got much going on. All right, because this stuff takes time. Reading, you may read for an hour. You may talk to a brother. There's been times where I've talked to, another brother for like 4 hours. All right, now if I had a business and things going on and all this stuff I had to do, you think I'd be able to be able to really be receptive unto this knowledge? No, of course not. So really, it's really the poor, the people who really don't have a whole lot going on. All right, maybe the working class. Those are gonna be the guys the most that are gonna be able to learn this truth, because we ain't got our stake in this world, man. We ain't freaking worrying about this world like that, man. But you got these guys out here, these businessmen, which is nothing wrong with owning a business, right? But it's all everything in balance. You can't be focusing on my business. All right, your business, you're not gonna keep your business, especially if it's in the U.S. All right, because if I'm not gonna go into it now, but the U.S. is gonna be reduced to a smoldering heap. All right, a smoldering heap. Shit, my phone about to die. So let me get my charger. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 4. And my speech in preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit, and of power. All right, of the power of the Holy Spirit, and of Yahweh by Shemi Shai. All right, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of Yahweh. Exactly. All right, because the wisdom of men, it's nothing, man. Even I still own these environmental textbooks. You know what I'm saying? And I've gone into them. Like I went into recently. I think I mentioned it, but in one of these textbooks I own, Introduction to Environmental Chemistry, the person who writes the book clearly states that they don't know how the world was created. All right, just on that preface alone, that makes environmental chemistry completely inferior to the Bible. All right, because the Bible can go tell you about creation. It can tell you about how gases were formed, how the earth was just atoms and elements. Okay, and how those elements came together to make dry land. Okay, they ain't gonna go into that in some science textbook. Now, these guys can't teach you anything. Okay, hold on. Alright, this is the one that. Okay, yeah, there we go. I just had to go take a look at my notes. I left them at the desk. So this is Proverbs. And we're gonna go to the first chapter, and we're gonna go down to the 20th verse. Wisdom crieth without; she utters her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, and opens the gates. As she uttereth the word, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorn to light, and the scorning and fools that hate knowledge? Turn ye on my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. Alright? What is this wisdom? Is this talking about man's wisdom? Is this talking about chemistry, biology, plate tectonics, geology, experimental astrophysics? No. This is talking about the wisdom in this book. All right, the wisdom of the scriptures. All right, that's the wisdom that crieth without. All right, and that's us. When you think about it, that's really us. She cried in the chief place of concourse, and the openings of the gates in the city. She uttered the word, saying, exactly. This is really talking about us when you really think about it. All right, start with Great Millstone. All right, and Great Millstone affiliates. All right, that's us. We're standing in the streets, crying out to the people. All right, saying, How long, you simple ones, we love simplicity, and the scorn is light, and the scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Man, I don't even really gotta go into that. Cause y'all already know, man. Them scorners, them goofies, all right, coming to camps, making jokes, laughing. When I was standing there for the first time, right, there was so many people that was walking by and scoffing. Oh, they look angry. Oh, they look like this. Oh, they look like that. Yeah, we are angry. All right, and maybe that's a topic for another time. But yeah, we are pretty pissed off. If you're looking at the world and you really watch the news like that, and you're on BitChute and you're watching these conspiracy channels, you're watching first and foremost, you're watching the elders and apostles, and the brethren, right? A great millstone. You'll start to see that you should be mad. You should be very pissed off, especially with what's coming. All right, so I just want to make this quick video, all right, exposing the false wisdom of these seminaries, man. Ain't nothing good in the seminary, right? Especially for you women. All right, women are supposed to stay at home, man in the kitchen. All right, they're supposed to be ruling the kitchen, not damn in seminary school. All right, this is why you don't let women wander. All right, you keep women in a box. You keep them in the home. All right, and if they go out, you gotta go with them. All right, you gotta go with them so that these things don't happen to them. All right, even if it's your concubine. Do you want your concubine being touched all over by some dirty, fat, demonic looking Edomite devil like this one? Hell no, man. That's your property. All right, you don't want your stuff to be defiled. All right, so that's all I got. All right, first and foremost, what's it called? How about Shimi Hawashai? That's all I got. To be continued. Shalom.